Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Greater Reading Young Professionals on BCTV. This is actually our one-year anniversary. September of last year we did our pilot, so we took a little break this summer and we're back to celebrate another year here on BCTV. Now, for those of you who don't know who we are a networking group comprised of young professionals in the Greater Reading and Berks County area. We were originally founded under the Greater Reading Chamber of Commerce and Industry as a way to engage, attract, and retain young professionals to the Greater Reading and Berks County area. We do offer monthly networking events, actually several throughout the month. Coming up this month, actually tomorrow, we have our second Wednesday morning networking event that will be held at Alta Avenue Cafe, and that begins at 7:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. This week's topic will be continuing education. Now, the cost will be $10 for the breakfast option, or there is also a coffee-only option for $2. Also, on the third Thursday of the month, which will be Thursday, September 19th, we will be celebrating the GoggleWorks 5th anniversary. It's hard to believe they've been around this long. But that event will be held from 5:30 to 7:30 at the GoggleWorks, and it will include a tour of the facility. There will be exhibits and displays from different artists, tours of their studios, and also a live glass blowing demonstration, which should be very interesting. The cost for that is $5 for not yet members and free for GRIP members. Also, on Wednesday, September 22nd, we will be having our GRIP Happy Hour event. That will be at the Berks YR Club from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. and a bonus event for our Legislative Impact Committee. They will have a mixer at Canal Street Pub on Thursday, September 30th from 7 to 9 p.m. You can get more information about these and additional events on our website, which is greaterreadingyp.org. Now, moving along, I would like to introduce our guests. Today we're going to be discussing entrepreneurship. But before I do that, we actually have a co-host here in the studio, and that is Michelle Smith.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Michelle is a business development coach with, the name just slipped my mind. You have to jump in here.
Okay, with the Growth Coach.
The Growth Coach, yes. So Michelle will actually be, you'll be seeing a lot more of her as she will be helping us co-host the show tonight and also in the future. But joining us this evening are our guests to talk about entrepreneurship, starting with Zach Bouguet and Justin Schenk of Jetbug LLC. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Also joining us tonight are Mike McNamara of CrashBounce.com and Terry McKim of RollItStorage.com. So to get started, Zach, I'm going to ask you, what is Jetbug?
Well, Jetbug, we put together seminars that focus on personal and professional growth, whether it's entrepreneurship, which was our first seminar, or advertising, marketing, PR, anywhere from that type of topic to health and fitness or how to bake a cake. We want to help people wherever there's a need or a want for somebody to have themselves grow in a particular topic. We want to help them better themselves, and we do that through seminars. And then we bring in professionals in that field to come and teach how they did it, what they did, so they can better themselves on that particular topic through learning from other people's experiences.
And Justin, I'm going to direct the next question to you. How did you guys decide that you wanted to start this business?
I think that Zach and I both always knew that we wanted to do something that to help people reach their goals and kind of go about it in a different way than usual. I think a lot of people can find a lot of the information they want on the internet, but it's completely different learning from either reading in a book or a professor and then learning it from somebody who's walked the walk or somebody who's actually done it. You know what I mean? So if you want to start a business, you want to go to an entrepreneur. You want to go to somebody who has kind of gone through the trenches, so to say, just what to do and how to do it the right way.
Right. Now, obviously, we're talking about entrepreneurship, so the first thing you do is actually have to get your business started. So if someone came to you with an idea but had no idea to execute it or go about bringing their idea to fruition, what would be the first thing you would advise them to do?
I think definitely a thing to do is do as much research on that particular topic as you can. Talk to people who have done it. Talk to people who have went through the same things that you're about to go through. Definitely find out, what legal things you need to go through, how to get LLC'd, and definitely form a budget. You want to know how much you need to get started. Those would be some of the things I would tell them to do.
Through, just to add to that, through the chamber, there's actually a group called SCORE. And you actually can have a free hour meeting with somebody to understand how to get LLC'd or incorporated, and kind of understand how to do it the right way. Make sure everything's legal and you're doing it the right way. And it's a free hour with somebody who's done it.
In addition to that, you have all that good stuff on the paper. What really drove you guys, and what do you think drives an entrepreneur to take that big leap? Because it's a leap.
It's a good question. I think a passion to whatever it is that drives you. I mean, if you want to be your own boss, you don't want to answer to anybody. Just stay focused on the end goal. You know what I mean? It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. Understand that's not going to happen overnight, no matter what you're doing. And just understand that you have a big picture in mind, whether it's financially, just to have freedom, to be able to take long weekends whenever you want. All those options are there as an entrepreneur. So whatever drives you, stay focused on that, and that's how you're going to take that first step.
Absolutely.
I think what drives people is, in most cases, like in Zach and Justin's cases, there's other people out there that do seminars and have educational classes, and their aha moment was, we can do something that's more beneficial. You're going to walk away and be like, I got something from the $50 seminar, and or if it's a cooking class, I can go home and make dinner now and be confident that people are going to eat it. So I think that's where they're like, no, we can do something different and benefit people and make a business out of it. So it's that aha moment that you're like, okay, I got something here, and this makes me different. What makes you different, and is it your service, is it your price? In their case, it was both. It was reasonable, and it was something that was more beneficial.
And your passion. You have to do something you love.
Yeah.
You're going to stick with it for a while. We talked a little bit about the tipping point. Does anybody want to talk about that?
I guess I can give you guys a little bit of an insight into that. I've been around now for about 2 years doing this business, and the first thing to know when you're starting out in business is that it's not going to be an overnight sensation, unless you're very, very lucky, and most likely unless you live in a big city and you have access to a lot of people who can get you there. The truth is, a business, whether it's a mom-and-pop grocery store or it's somebody starting an online business, is a hard slog. It requires an investment of money and an investment of time and effort. And it probably takes most people at least 4 or 5 months before they even get their bearings in their industry, even with all the resources and all the preparation that you go through with SCORE and other people, and I've done all that too. And I can tell you that the first 5 months are tough. People are looking for results. Your family, your friends, investors, everybody wants to know, what's happening, how's it going. But once you do get through that period, and you should count on it, as long as you have a decent product and you're confident and you've made your plans, you will see that growth, and you will see those results start to come in. And even though they're probably going to be more meager than your wildest expectations, to you they will mean everything in the world. And that's what gives you the confidence to take the next step. That's what allows you to commit, and it's a long-term commitment. Starting a business is like going into a marriage or having a child or anything else. It's a lifelong decision, and it's something that changes the way you look at life and how you deal with things. But when you find that fulfillment and that moment where everything that you've planted and all those seeds are starting to sprout up, you have a lot of self-confidence, a lot of happiness, and then it allows you to go through and do whatever you have to do to keep it going.
Oh, go ahead.
What would you say, if you sat down with someone that was going to walk the path, would be the biggest mistake that people stumble upon right in the beginning?
You guys would know
I would say a huge mistake that I know that we did, so to tell you a personal story, don't announce things until they're set in stone.
I think that's a good one.
I think that a lot of times people are like, oh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and then you realize last minute it falls apart. Literally 15 minutes before you're supposed to do something, somebody might email and be like, whoops, sorry, can't do that. So it definitely happens, so be prepared for that, and do not announce anything until you either have money in hand or a contract signed.
Okay. And always have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
That gets you through it, doesn't it?
Be able to laugh at yourself.
Absolutely.
I think, and Mike said it perfect too, is, the first thing everyone tells you to do is do a business plan, and you do the business plan and you think, that's my plan, that's how it's going to go. Just from personal experience with my first business, is things change quickly. And in that case, it was economy. So that changed pricing, that changed approach on the business. So whether you have a business plan, you should have a backup business plan. You know, so you line your ducks up in a row. You know, surround yourself with good people. You know, stay confident in your idea and your business, and then that first year or so is probably the toughest. And as you get through it, you know, it gets better and better, and you learn from it. But definitely the business plan. You know, don't expect it to go from A to Z. You know, it's going to bounce around a little bit, and you got to roll with the punches.
Absolutely.
That's a great point. And as Mike mentioned, I think people don't realize the amount of work and time and commitment that is required in, you know, in starting a business. You know, you have a great idea, but it takes so much more than that to actually make things happen and to make things profitable for you. Now, let me ask you guys a question. I mean, obviously, we're in like one of the biggest economic recessions in history. Why would someone want to start a business in these recessionary times, given this economy?
Well, that's actually an easier question to answer than you would think. A lot of people are not employed. So the first thing they do is start. Resourceful people and creative and imaginative people say, you know, I don't want to just go out there and keep struggling looking for a job. There are a lot of things that I could do on my own. A lot of people have ideas that they've thought of over the years, and maybe they were in a job that took up a lot of their time, and now they have more time. Maybe they're going back to school, maybe they're going for adult education, and they've got extra time, or they've got a little bit more enthusiasm to make something work. The key to starting a business and to being successful with it is to be energetic and effective with everything that you do, and to be personally motivated. If you're motivated by an external driver, a boss whipping you every day to get those hourly wages, you're not going to be able to devote yourself towards really jumping into, you know, the investment and the sacrifice that a business requires. When you don't have those things, I think people find themselves finding that internal motivation, and suddenly they can deliver in ways that maybe even they didn't know possible. So it is really a great time. And if you look at some of the economists in the past, they've talked about this, that the best businesses, the biggest blue chip businesses that exist today, all were started in the recessions of the 70s and 80s. Microsoft was started in the recession of the 80s. Walmart was started in the 60s, I believe, during a recession. They started out as small businesses, of course, but they grew because they were able to start effectively when the chips were down, when no one had any money. If you can sell in this economy, if you can grow in this economy, if you can get your idea blooming in this economy, then you're going to do great when times get better.
Well said.
And then one thing to think about with the economy being so bad, and people go, well, people might not want to spend any money. Keep in mind, 1.3 million people went out and bought the iPhone 4 when it came out the first weekend. So people have money that they're going to spend as long as you offer a product that they want to spend it on. So that's always something to keep in mind right now.
Yeah, this is still America, the most powerful economy in the world. So,
and we're in a good area. I mean, Reading started with, you know, startups. You know, and a good example, and I know we had talked about before, is the Ride to Prosperity. You know, there's a section in that, and all the local organizations are jumping on board, and they devoted a section of that report to entrepreneurship. You know, because that's how Reading started. You know, we're known for a lot of businesses. Boscov's, you know, a good example. You know, that's a startup retail store that, you know, grown tremendously. Went through a downfall and came back out of it strong. So, you know, this is a good area. There's a lot of local, you know, organizations that you can take advantage of. SCORE is a perfect one. The Chamber, go on the Mike and Justin seminars. That's local. Yeah, so it's like, you know, there's a lot of good things that we can take advantage of, and I think that, you know, this is a good area to start. So I think all of us are pretty fortunate.
Absolutely. Now hold that thought, because I do want to talk a little bit more about the Ride to Prosperity report and what's going on locally here in Reading and Berks County. But we do have to take a quick break. So we'll be right back.
You're watching Greater Reading Young Professionals Emerge on bctv.org. Be informed. Be involved. Be a member. For membership information, go to www.bctv.org/support/membership. For more information and other related stories, go to www.bctv.org. Program underwriting is a valuable source of revenue for bctv.org and a way for you and your business to get exposure in the community. To learn how you can support a bctv.org program, go to www.bctv.org.
Thank you for joining us again. We are here talking about entrepreneurship, and I want to just continue our discussion. Before the break, we were speaking a little bit about the Ride to Prosperity report on the Berks Economic Partnership website. BEP, for those of you who don't know, is a great resource for business owners, entrepreneurship. They attract businesses to the area and provide a wealth of information, whether you are looking for a location or looking for grants. They have tons of people there to help you get started on your business. Now, I just want to change gears a little bit because both Mike and Terry have online businesses. So given the age that we're in, the internet age, technology age, could you guys talk a little bit about that, about why you chose to take the internet route as opposed to having a traditional storefront business?
Mine's a little bit different. I'll let Mike spend more time on it because this is totally internet driven.
Okay.
Roll-it storage is college, storage for college students. It's very vertical. And with that, with college students, obviously we have to be online. It makes it a little more accessible, especially with Facebook and social media. So we had, that's one of our options. But we also want to be on campus promoting and whatnot and have hands-on experience and promote that way. I think that's just as beneficial. So, we do it, and we're more of a startup, so it's not, we're not 2 years into it. And I think Mike has more experience with the online business and how that works. We focus, and we think social media is a big part of it. And we're getting there, and people coordinate with us through online. But the actual product and whatnot isn't a matter of ordering online. It's contacting us. We like to talk to people and go through that process.
Well, I'll add a little bit to that. I think that if I was in an opportunity 2 years ago to start a brick and mortar retail business, certainly for a specialty product like an airbag jacket for motorcyclists and equestrians, I would have given it a lot more thought and maybe decided not to do it because there's a tremendous amount of upfront investment required. Now, I had a lot of investment required anyway, so it would have been even more. And there's also a lot of detrimental issues with having to maintain things while you grow. The internet is extremely unique in the sense that it allows you to have something that people trust and a method of purchasing that people have become very familiar with over the last decade, and incredibly so, to the point where people buy things off their iPhones and their PDAs and their Android devices. To think that people are willing to do that and they're willing to give you their attention and they're willing to look at your product on there and not be scared away is part of our new emerging world that we're living in. So I think that I'm very lucky to live in a time when this is an opportunity, and the internet is a very cost-effective way to do that. There are a lot of important aspects to setting up a retail business, which is what I do. Crash Bounce has a product, obviously, that's built for safety. It's built for motorcyclists when they get thrown off a motorcycle, or horse riders that get thrown off. And it has a tremendous amount of legal requirements and everything to make sure that the product is made properly and that we sell it properly and we follow all the rules. So there are other things that you can sell. If you're at home making bracelets or something and you want to sell that on Amazon or eBay, that's pretty quick. You can do that for $30 a month. You could be up and running in no time. If you're looking at something a little bit more developed, you want to get more into advertising online and stuff to go along with it. But I think the key here is that the internet allows you to get started within about 30, 60 days from when you get a good idea. And that's something that is changing our culture even. And it's rather amazing. There are a lot of resources out there to help you. There are a lot of big companies that want to help you that are making money off this. Google has grown tremendously. 5 years ago, Google was just a search engine and they were not making any money at all. In fact, people said, how are they offering this for free? We've got to find a way to make money. And now they make, what their IPO was huge. $500 billion or something like that. And one of the largest businesses in the United States. They've done that because they have a tremendous amount of advertising that they help small businesses do. When you search for things, they'll help you bring up results. So you have things like that cost you maybe $5, $10 a month that allow you to reach a worldwide audience. Never before in history have we had this. TV started it, and it was all very exciting, but that's relatively expensive for somebody who's starting out. Internet is not like that at all. So it's a grassroots growth thing. Now is the time to get on it. And if you use the proper tools and you're in business with people who can help you there, eBay, Amazon, Google are a couple of suggestions, you can do very good, and you can provide for your customers right from your back room of your house or something. You can move into an office quickly, and that's how most of us have started.
Can I add to that real quick? I mean, with any business, I think that you can benefit from the internet, whether it be just only advertising, just an information page. I know that we're going to expand out and do, webinars, and people can purchase sound bites from some of our seminars on there. Obviously, that's a process for down the road, but this is something that we're going to use down the road to generate income for our business. So I think that whether it's even a face-to-face thing, like Roll It Storage, I mean, a huge thing they're utilizing is the internet, but it is a face-to-face company. So.
Okay. The marketing, though, would look different if versus an online business startup or a relationship business startup with what you were doing. Eventually, one starts off just on the internet and might morph into the relationship side, and the other one starts the other way. But how have you developed your relationships and launched your businesses?
I think, a good example when you're talking about marketing and online and the relationship is, and I wanted to bring this up was, me and Mike were talking about, there's a great PR piece, and it was in the New York Times, I believe, on the horse riding vest. And once that one was online, and he forwarded it to me and showed it to me, and he saw internet sales for that vest go up. That's great that you can judge your return on your investment based off one story that's online. That's how powerful online is. And I think the online process and online marketing has allowed people that are starting up a business but they have a full-time job, as Mike could point out too, to kind of take that, not so much of a leap, more of a, feel the water out your toe and see how, if it's cold or warm enough to get in. So I think that allows us, and I think the relationships with people, is, very key. And that's a good example for Justin and Zach's case. They joined GRIP, they networked, they met some people, and that's how it started, just based off of one organization and joining and kind of building a business from that.
Yes, GRIP's excellent for networking.
Yeah, I mean, we must have joined GRIP, and I joined GRIP probably about a year ago, but actively got involved probably about 4 or 5 months ago. And within that time frame, I mean, I've been able to utilize the group, and they've been 100% gung-ho about what myself, Zach, and Jumpbug as a business is doing. And we've really partnered up, and we've formed a partnership where we're kind of helping each other out. And I think that I would say Berks County's got a lot of those options, so definitely do your research. I know we're running out of time, but definitely do your research and understand that there's a lot of options out there, a lot of free options to go out there and market your company face to face.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? I mean, we do have to wrap up. That time went by so fast, but do you guys have any last minute ideas?
I think people should take advantage of this opportunity right now, and that they should keep hope, because your ideas, and there's a lot of people out here to support you grow your ideas in this community. This is a wonderful place to grow a business. It's a growing community, and there's a lot of resources.
Well, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
It was a very good discussion. Now, as you guys know, we always like to take a few minutes just to highlight some of the great things in Reading, Berks County. So up next we have a short video on quaint, cozy little gem that Kim Reimels found here in Berks County. Take a look.
This is Josh Packer. Josh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And thanks for having us to your restaurant today. So tell me a little bit about the history of this restaurant.
The restaurant was established in 1805. It was called the Sorrel House. And what people would do is they would come. This was like kind of a stopping point, a midway point for Philadelphia and New York. And they would park their carriages across the street, come over, get a drink, something to eat, stay in the inn, and then be on their way. This has been a restaurant for 205 years. It's never been a private residence, which I think is really interesting.
Tell me a little bit about your menu. Do you guys change it seasonally?
The menu changes 3 to 4 times a year. The chef tries to keep it as seasonal as possible. Personally, I like all of our dishes, but I enjoy our lobster cakes. We sell a lot of lobster cakes. We buy in Maine lobster, fresh, shell them, and we put them in our lobster cakes, which is really, I think, a unique dish. We also have a crab tart. It's a puff pastry with asparagus, lemon hollandaise, and jumbo lump crab meat.
Okay, great. Now, if anybody ever comes to the restaurant, as you walk in the door, you'll see plaques on the wall for Zagat's.
Our ratings, I am very proud of. The 2010 I just got just a couple months ago, And in Berks County, we're the top in service and food, which makes me very happy. We do have a full-service bar. We don't have a bar inside the restaurant, but we have pretty much any type of liquor you want. We have 9 different types of beer. So if you're coming to wanting to have a good time, to have a cocktail, to have a beer, to have a glass or bottle of wine, we can definitely service that for you. We do quite a few private parties. Okay. We have our main dining room sits up to 65. This room which is called our garden room. This sits up to 35, which I've had my dad's retirement party, which was private, and my brother's rehearsal dinner here. And our petite room sits up to 20 private. All of our desserts are made in-house. They're all recipes that have been kind of tweaked throughout the years. I know we have a Valrhona chocolate souffle that I make. The previous owner, Jay Schaefer, taught me how to make that. I also do have a seasonal dessert it's a Bing Cherries coupe. It's a macaroon ice cream with poached Bing cherries that is to die for.
Are there any special events coming up at the restaurant in the next couple of months that you'd like people to know about?
Well, yes. In October, I don't have a date set yet, but we're going to be having food and wine tasting, which is very exciting for me. We just had our first one last month, and it was a big success.
Welcome back. In closing, we'd like to thank everybody on the panel and wish you prosperous businesses. Please check us out on GreaterReadingYP.org. We are on, when you can see us again, we are on bi-monthly in the odd month, first Tuesday of the odd month at 8:30 p.m. Also, BCTV is hosting the Oktoberfest from October 18th to the 23rd at the Fairgrounds Square Mall. Please be sure to check it out. And then one last thing I need to say, happy birthday, Dad.